All right, let me do that. First, we're going to sew the little outside, and then we're going to sew in the middle. So that's these two little seams.
Do you have any
right
more of
there.
those handouts?
Yeah.
Just tell me.
Yeah, I'll have one for you. You can take that one. Okay, now come over here. Oh, can you hand me my scissors, please?
Right there.
Okay, so I'm going to bring this right to the edge. It's really not that important to have a back stitch at this point, because all it does is it's holding it in place. But the first one has to be on the very edge of the zipper. And just bring it all the way down. Like that. And don't worry about what sticks out. We're going to take care of that later when we go into the waistband. Okay, and then the second one will go in the middle part. I'm just following that little heavier thread that tells me it's sort of in the middle. Okay, trim, get rid of your tails. Okay, all right, now. See, now this is sewn down. The reason this is sewn down is, see, one of the tails got stuck. Okay. The reason this is sewn down is because when we turn this now, and we're going to top stitch it, the top stitch is going to be over here. It's going to be wider than what the zipper is. You see, if a fly zipper is a certain width, you know, a certain look to it. So you cannot do a ½ inch like you do a regular, or, you know, it has to be past an inch in order to have that proportion that you have when you have your jeans, you know, they're pretty wide. But the zipper itself is not that wide, so therefore, you know, you have to make an adjustment. So you have to sew the zipper by itself first so that it stays in place. Now, these pins you can take out for the next step. Only this one you have to leave in. And so now, I'm going to line this up. You don't really have to worry too much about the plaid, because you want to just make sure it's flat, and it should pretty much fall in place. And pin the facing. See, you want to put that. See, it's pretty much falls in place because you already had lined it up. This part here is very important. That's why when we sewed those seams next to each other, you cannot have a gap, because otherwise you would have it end up with a hole right in here. Mm-hmm. See, this area here is very important. You got it? Mm-hmm. Yeah. I forgot what it was on, but it was something really so had a little hole in it. This zipper, the instructions for this fly zipper, I find so far the best, because if you follow the instructions, it really works pretty well. Now, what I do in here is, see this little tab from the zipper, the metal? You don't want to hit that, you know, when you first start. So what I do is I put a needle just a little bit below and give myself when, you know, so I know where that is. Now, the top stitch is going to be 1 1/4 wide. So from here, see this edge right here, over is 1 1/4. So I'm going to put it right here. Now, you also, in a plaid, you're hoping that you can follow your plaid as much as, you know, as possible. So I'm going to follow the plaid to here, but then in here I'm going to come over, and you want to come over on a kind of soft curve. See, when you look at this picture, this is a nice soft curve. No squares, okay? Don't come over and then go like that. Look at your own zippers in your jeans, and you see that this should be a nice soft curve. See, now I know where that is. I can bring it over, make sure I put it all in place. Okay, now I'm going to start from the bottom up, okay, because you have a right zipper foot. So you want to stay out of the way from the zipper. So you start from the bottom up with a back stitch, and then I'm going to follow the rest of it with the plaid. Okay, all right. So come over here, and please, those back stitches, be gentle. You don't need to, you know, don't overdo it. What you do is you go in, you don't, you know, start in and go back first. Go backwards first, and then come in on the, okay, just a little bit straight, and then start pivoting on your curve. Take your time. You know, you don't have to win a race. Just kind of pivot, follow your trying to get into this part with the plaid. Now I came a little bit too.
You have to watch that part that's folded up. That part that's folded up. You have to watch like.
Okay, that's just a minute. You can ask me again. Do a back stitch in the end and pull it up. Okay, now what did you ask me?
Because you had us fold the little
Yeah, you have to fold, you keep that because, see, this belongs to the other side. See, this piece has to be free of this seam. You cannot have that sewn down. This belongs to the other side because we're going to the other side now.
Okay.
So, see, we did the top stitch, looks good. See that? Okay, now, the second part is this part, right? Right here. There we go, this side. Okay, now, before we do that, we're going to take our, see, this is that little extra step that you're going to look at your plaid and you're going to mark it on the other side of the zipper. You're going to transfer this plaid onto the zipper. Okay? Then you're going to take this, like here, and you're gonna find the other side from here, and you're gonna take your zipper, and you're gonna see, you're gonna take the fabric and you line it up right on top where, can I have my plates, please? See, you lined it up, and now you're matching it from the other side. See, I'm gonna put, you cannot, you know, you cannot wing that. You gotta mark it, because if you're just gonna sew it, it's not gonna work. Or if you're following, see, this is where that extra step comes in. You know, before you do this, you have to do this.
Okay.
So I'm gonna bring it down. You can just sew it up to where the, you know, the tab is of the, you don't have to go all the way down. You just bring it up to where the end of the zipper is, because otherwise you're gonna right in here.